So, you're applying to grad school. You're probably staring down one of the most important and maybe intimidating parts of your application, the statement of purpose. But don't you worry. Today, we're going to crack that code. We're going to give you a super clear roadmap to writing an SOP that really, truly stands out. Okay, let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? That blinking cursor on a blank page, it can feel like a huge weight. It's like your entire future is riding on these next 1,000 words or so. Yeah, it can be completely overwhelming. We've all been there.
But here's the secret. The statement of purpose, or SOP, it's your one big chance to connect all the dots. Your transcript shows your grades. Your CV lists your accomplishments, sure. But the SOP? That's where you tell the story behind it all. It's where you give the context that no other document possibly can.
Let's break this down, because it's a really crucial difference. Think of it this way. Your CV is the what. It's a list of your achievements. It's essential, don't get me wrong, but it's a little flat. Your SOP, on the other hand, is the why. It takes that list and transforms it into a compelling story, a focused argument for why you are the perfect person for this program.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a really powerful three-part framework. Then we'll dig into each of those pieces. How to find your why, how to connect your experiences as proof, and how to show that you're the perfect fit for the program. And then we'll wrap it all up with some tips for that final polish.
Okay, to make this whole thing feel a lot more manageable, we're going to use a simple three-part framework. Seriously, think of this as the blueprint for your entire essay. It's a logical structure that admissions committees totally get and appreciate, mainly because it answers all of their big questions.
And here it is: motivation, experiences, and program fit. Or you could think of it as the why, the proof, and the future. Your past experiences provide the proof for your present motivation, and all of that points toward your future at their program. See? This structure turns your journey into one single, coherent story. Let's start with the absolute heart of it all, your motivation. All right, first up, finding your why. Now, this isn't just a catchy introduction. It's the central theme, the beating heart of your entire statement. Everything else you write should somehow connect right back to this core idea.
So your motivation, that's your why. Why this field? Why your graduate degree? And why now? It's this mix of your passion, your specific research interests, and your big long-term goals. Getting this part crystal clear is, without a doubt, the most important step you're going to take.
So how do you actually show this? Well, you could kick things off with a powerful personal story. Or you could get right to it and define the specific research questions that, keep you up at night. Or you could outline your professional goals and explain exactly why this degree is the one thing you need to get there.
Okay, now this is a fantastic example of a personal story doing the heavy lifting. The applicant, Lao Thongji, doesn't just say, "I'm interested in public health." No way. She shows us the origin of that passion. It's memorable, it's authentic, and it immediately sets up a really powerful why. So once you've laid out your motivation, you've got to back it up. You need evidence. And that brings us to the next section, your experiences. This is where you prove you've done the work, you've put in the hours, and you're ready for the challenges of grad school.
Now the key here, and this is a big one, is to avoid just repeating your CV. They've already got that. Your job is to go from the what to the so what. What did you actually learn from that research project? How did that internship totally change your perspective? You have to explain the impact. You want to focus on your most relevant experiences. For a lot of PhD programs, research is king, but other stuff is really powerful too. For each one you pick, try to frame it like a little mini story. Here was the situation, here's what I did, and, most importantly, here was the result, or here's what I learned. Just look at this example from Antonio. He doesn't just say, "I worked in a lab." He points to a concrete, high-level outcome, a publication in a journal. That single sentence shows he's competent, he can follow through, and he's already able to contribute to the field. That's impact. All right, you've shared your passion, you've given your proof. Now for the final, and I mean critical, piece of the puzzle, proving you belong at their specific program. This is all about making the perfect match. And I really can't stress this enough. You cannot, I repeat, cannot send the same statement to every school. A generic copy-paste SOP is an immediate red flag. This section right here requires dedicated research to show them you've done your homework and you're serious about their program, not just any old program.
So, how do you do it? You got to be specific. Name a professor or two whose work just gets you excited, and explain why. Mention specific labs or research centers that line up with your goals. Oh, and here's a common mistake. Don't just flatter them. Saying Dr. Smith is a genius is way less effective than saying, Dr. Smith's work on protein folding directly inspires the questions I want to explore.
This example from Tawny is perfect. It just shows the power of detail. She doesn't just name-drop professors. She explains why their research philosophy, that sweet spot between fundamental and applied science, is a perfect match for her. That shows she's really engaged, not just someone who did a quick scan of the website.
Okay, we have our 3 core components. Now it's time to bring them all together into a polished, powerful essay. And just remember, great writing is a process. It's not some single act of genius that happens overnight.
Start by just brainstorming. Get all your ideas out, no judgment. Then, use our 3-part framework to build an outline. After that, just get a full draft down on paper. Don't worry about it being perfect. The real magic, trust me, happens during revision. And try to get feedback from 2 kinds of people. A professor who can check your technical stuff, and a good friend who can tell you if your story is actually interesting.
So please, remember this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, sits down and writes a perfect statement of purpose in one go. It just doesn't happen. It takes time, it takes reflection, it takes multiple drafts. So be patient with yourself and just trust the process. You're building a case for yourself, and that takes care.
And you know, that's really what it all comes down to. Your experiences, your unique perspective, your motivation, all of it comes together to create a story that only you can tell. The admissions committee doesn't just want a summary of your CV. They want to meet the person behind the paper. So, the real question is, what is the story only you can tell?